Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here for another love circle. And today we are talking about resolving emotional triggers. Now, that is something, as long as you're in a human body, that is something you'll be facing almost every single day, where something will happen outside of you and you will get triggered. You will feel some lower form of emotions. You would want to run, hide, cry, scream. And then with all the adult life responsibilities, sometimes that's not possible. So what we do, we just ignore those triggers. We just take another cup of coffee or we take another 5 hour energy shot or sometime, all kind of substance abuse that we do to ourselves. And we just keep moving because somehow, somewhere, we believe that we don't have time available to really acknowledge what is going on with us. If that is the lifestyle you're keeping up, I know I kept it up in the past, then what happens over time, those those triggers that you're not resolving, the surface, the stuff that is coming to the surface that you're not resolving, it turns into disease because it's blocking your energy flow now. So that was in a nutshell what a trigger does to you. But first, let's look at why do we have triggers? Why that is part of our, um, I would say, energetical makeup, because emotions or triggers, they are energetic. Why does it exist? When we have something that is sitting in our psychology, sitting deep within us, or sitting in our energy field that is not aligned to our soul, generally that is when some kind of traumatic event happened, or we had a kind of experience or our own behavior that is not aligned to who we are in our true essence, that is our soul. When something like that happened and we don't pause and take a moment to observe it, to resolve it, to dissolve it, to go a little bit deeper, when we don't do that and we just push it down and keep moving forward. We just want to forget it. That's all we want to do. We would drink, we will overeat, we will, shop things that we don't need. We just want to forget it. We are running away from it. Now, that energy at a specific given time will come to the surface. Your body, your being is telling you, hey, look at it, resolve it. It's blocking. It's almost like, if you are good about understanding the plumbing system, when something gets clogged, how we know it's clogged, there is a backup. When there is a backup, that is when we send somebody, usually a snake thingy, a metal snake thingy, into the pipes to find where it is. A trigger, when you are just walking down the street and maybe, like, a specific car passes or a specific song is playing somewhere, and all of a sudden, you go into that freeze mode, or you're getting stressed, or you're getting anxious, you're getting fearful. What is happening in that moment? There is a backup happening. Your being is saying, resolve it now, because it is hindering the flow of your energy. And when that is happening, it's our job to work through it and to have a better flow of energy in our system. When we ignore it, over time, usually it takes about a decade, then there's all kind of diseases happening. So that was just a little bit about why we even have triggers. They are emotional. They are there to help us. They are there to release what doesn't belong to us. Most of us, we are holding on to because of our ego. We want to be in control. We want to feel safe. We hold on to the things that don't belong to us. Past hurt, past event, because um, in the current age and time, humans are not taught a very important skill, and that is called let go or release. I know I didn't know that skill. I had to work with a lot of mentors to really understand that skill. And I believe still I'm working on mastering it. But when we don't know how to let go what doesn't belong to us as the soul that we are, and we hold on to it because somehow it makes us feel good about ourselves, to having that self-pity in our corner, that is when over time we are not really living as who we are. We are living as our triggers. So then what happens? We stop going to the mall because something triggered us there. We stop hanging out with our friends because something about them triggered us. We stop going to the restaurant because something is triggering us. I personally stopped listening to Pakistani music. I stopped listening to going to Pakistani restaurant because the trigger that I had in my past about 3 years ago that was causing me panic attacks was tied to my birthplace. It was tied to my identity, and I was working through all of that. So for about 2 years, I didn't do it, and now I feel comfortable going back because that trigger is not present anymore. We have done the groundwork. In a nutshell, when we don't resolve our triggers and we get used to just shoving everything under the rug, you're not going to live as your true authentic self. You're going to be a puppet of those past events that are causing that trigger. So if you don't want to be a puppet, if you truly want to live with all the power that is within you, all the light that is within you, you want to reveal it, then the go-to would be resolving your triggers when they happen and not pushing them out into the future or back in time or under the rug, whatever you do with them, or most importantly, taking stuff to numb your pain. Now, there are three ways I'll be talking about how you can deal with your triggers. The first one is what can you do right in the moment? And that is more of a physical nature. When there's a trigger happening, whether it's through a song, whether it's a specific speed of your car, whether it's because you are just thinking about a person's name and something is happening inside of you, your unconscious mind thinks in that moment you're under attack because it doesn't know that just a human name cannot kill you. It does not have that kind of discernment. That is more of your conscious mind that can do that. Our unconscious mind is a feeling mind. So as soon as you think of a person, the memory pops up where whatever happened between you and them, and now you're feeling all the feelings and your behavior pattern is taking over and your conscious mind is shut down. And your body does not know if this is happening right now or you're just imagining it or you're just recalling it. For our body is part of our unconscious mind. For our unconscious mind, everything is happening right now. It cannot tell the difference between time and space the way our conscious mind can tell. So when you're in danger right now, your sympathetic nervous system is going to get activated. That is fight, flight, or freeze mode. Now you choose or you decide which is your go-to way to deal with things. For me personally, it's usually either freeze or flight. I either get stuck or I just want to run away from the situation. It's fight back in my mechanism. So when all that is getting activated, now your body is saying run, you're in danger. But if you're sitting in your office and you just had an argument with a coworker, where you're going to run to? That is not how your day is designed. You're supposed to stay there and finish maybe next 3 hours of your work. So when you're just sitting there now, because you're not using that rush of energy, your palms are getting sweaty, your heartbeat is getting faster, and your body's getting ready to run and get to a safe place. But this is a psychological trigger and body doesn't understand that. So in that moment, all we want to do is activate our parasympathetic nervous system. The easiest way to do it, a deep breath. When your lungs are going to push on your diaphragm has a parasympathetic nerve attached to it. So parasympathetic nervous system gets it activated, which means calm and relaxation. So generally 10 deep breaths, but do box breathing. What is box breathing? Where you take an inhale, hold for a few seconds, exhale, hold for a few seconds. What that does, it gives your body that pause that it needs to reset itself. Also, just a little bit deeper concept here. When we pause, for whatever reason, we are pausing our breath, we are pausing our mind, we are pausing what we are speaking. in that moment, we get to connect with our soul's light. It's almost like, wait a minute, I'm going to plug in. So pause is just a very good thing to have in your life to begin with. Just taking those 10 deep breaths, you're going to calm down your nervous system. So you're not going to have a physical reaction. You're not going to be on the floor of your office having a full-blown panic attack. So that is the first one. I would highly suggest whenever there's an emotional trigger, right away go to that because you want to get in control of your body. If body starts to get out of control, that is when we start losing trust with our body, and that is why people who do have panic attack once, they're always at the edge of what if I get another one because they feel so out of control. People who get sick a lot, they are always worried about what if I get sick again because they feel out of control. So take hold of your body. The second thing you can do if you do have time available, that is the energetical aspect of it. So whatever is going on, wherever it's going on, there is some ball, hairy ball of energy stuck somewhere that is not creating a good flow within your energy body. So just feel where you're feeling this argument that just happened. Is it in your stomach? Is it in your chest? Is it in your neck? You might feel it in your head. Generally, it's below our neck. If you're feeling in your head, that means you're just completely living in your head and you're not really connecting with your body. Wherever you feel it, just take that energy out. And then you can open your hand and you can connect with it with a little bit more awareness. You can just ask yourself, what is the color of this energy? What is the smell of this energy? Is there like something more attached to it? Is there a texture to it? What we are doing, we are becoming aware that this thing existed within me and I am taking out this energy. And then once you have made a little bit connection with it, at this point, because I practice this technique a lot, I don't really connect with it that much. I just take it out and I know what it is. I transform it and I put it back. So now we are putting this energy between two energy center and we are going to rub and transform. As you're rubbing, your intention is going to be, I am transforming this energy to the highest, best energy that I need, or I am letting my higher self decide what energy do I need right now. So you're just going to rub, 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 and then wait till you have like some physical response in your body. For me, usually my shoulders just go down a little bit. So you just rub it till you feel it's better to close your eyes. Close your eyes, rub, rub, rub till you feel a shift in your physical body. Then open it again, connect with it. Has the color shifted? Has the texture shifted? Is there a different smell to it? And what is this feeling? Maybe the first one was anger. What is it? Is it peace? Is it joy? Is it happiness? And then put it back where you took it and just close your eyes and let this energy move through your whole body and being. And feel that emotion within you. Now, these are two quick fixes that you can do just so you can get hold of yourself. Because maybe you just had an argument with your coworker, and now maybe in 2 hours you have to be at a PTA meeting, or maybe you're going on a date and you don't want to ruin your day. So what we did, we activated your parasympathetic nervous system, the calm system. We also shifted the energy within you. Now, here comes the real work, and that is going deeper to resolve the trigger. Now, that's why I took few moments in the beginning to tell you about everything else, but this is the real work. If you don't go deeper into your thought process, the way you are trained and conditioned to think and shift it there, if you don't do that, it's going to come back again. The energy that you just transformed, it's going to get, transformed into the anger all over again because there is a source of the plug. That's why whenever my bathroom sink get clogged, my first go-to is let me pour some liquid down the drain, some drain opener. If it's not helping, I'm not just going to wait and sit for it to work or keep pouring it again. If it didn't work the first time, I am definitely calling a plumber and I'm definitely having them take out the block wherever the block is. But the real work is resolving that block in your way of thinking. So now let's look at a trigger. So now this is something you can do when you get home, when you're calm, you're relaxed right before bedtime, or do it in a time when you're not going to get disturbed. It could be next morning. I personally believe in resolving your trigger the same day before going to bedtime, before going to sleep. When we go to sleep and we start next day, we get reset on so many levels, and if something has not been resolved, it's going to get archived. If it's archived, so much harder to get to it. When it's right on the surface, when we are boiling something, just yesterday I was boiling some chicken, there's like gunk coming on the top. If you don't take it out right there and then, what happens? It gets attached to the sides of the pan and it gets burned. And now your pot is going to need a lot of scrubbing. It was so much easier when the gunk was on top, you can just take it off. So that is exactly how the thought process is within us. Now, the first thing you're going to ask yourself, there's about four steps to it. The first thing you're going to ask yourself, what triggered me? What was it? Was it the tone of their voice? Was it the words that they said? Was it like the time of the day they said it? What was it that triggered me? Now, if you don't know that, the rest of the process is not going to work. It's just like, especially when you might have witnessed it with kids. When my son comes home, he's upset. Why are you upset? I don't know. Why you're upset? I don't know. Um, because kids don't really want to do the work to go deeper. So they need that guidance. And it's very important that us as a parent, we learn how to go deeper within ourselves so we can share that skill with our kids. So asking yourself, what triggered you? The first is what triggered you. The second question is going to be, how did it make you feel? Now, feeling is very important because if you just say, oh, I felt blah or I felt meh, that is not a feeling. That is just us running away from really being vulnerable with ourselves, being honest with ourselves. Did you feel sad? Did you feel angry? You can look at an emotions chart and maybe get more specific what level of sadness it was. And now the third one is the most important. What story were you telling yourself that made you feel that way? Now, the story sometime we could be telling, my coworker said this to me because they're senior than me. Who do they think they are? Because they have been here longer. That's why they're talking to me. Or they're talking to me because of my gender. Or they're talking to me because of my ethnicity. Or they are talking to me, whatever story we tell ourselves. The transformation is in the story. What story you are telling yourself that made you feel that way? One of the biggest triggers that I worked with was me having panic attacks. I had two, sat down with my with my mentor, worked through all this, found the exact story. Once, my friend, you find the story, you can resolve the biggest trigger. And this is how you become a free human. This is how no one can control you. No situation, no person can control you. And again, I'll say it again. I say it many times. Whatever I teach, I also practice it myself. I teach it from a place of embodiment and not just from theory. This is whatever I'm telling you guys, these three things in the past 6 weeks, I used all three every single day on a very heavy dose. And that is how I get to come out of those 6 weeks feeling joyful, feeling happy, having all the power within me, not having any grudges or resentment towards anybody. This is how powerful it is when you meet yourself where you are. So the story that you're telling yourself is making you feel that way. And now the fourth question, the most important question, what is the negative impact the story is having you? Maybe in the situation that we are talking about, the negative impact is you don't get close enough to your coworkers. Maybe you're not feeling comfortable collaborating with them because you keep telling yourself this story. I can tell you when I used to be young and I thought world is against me. That was the story I always told myself. Everybody is against me. Life was pretty horrible. There was all kind of horrible things happening in my life every single day that kept validating that story, kept making me feel even more sad to the point where I remember maybe I was 19 or 20 and I started having these thoughts, what's the point of even being alive? Life is horrible, life is that. I didn't realize the problem was the story I was telling myself, the negative impact that story was having. My life was miserable. So now that you have all these four pieces, now we are going to flip it. Now we are going to ask ourselves, what do you want to experience? With the same coworker, what do you want to experience? Do you want to experience harmonious relationship? Do you just want to experience them not talking to you ever again? Or do you want to just change your job? What is it that you want to experience? And what is the story you're going to tell yourself? And what is the feeling you want to have? And what is the story you're going to tell yourself that is going to create feeling that you want to have? So now this is us consciously creating that. Again, you cannot do this work when the trigger is happening. In the moment, this is conscious mind work, your unconscious is activated. You won't even have access to this part of you. This honest, authentic, non-judgmental, ready to go deeper, ready to resolve, look at the possibilities part of your brain, it's not going to be accessible. So this is what you do the evening of whenever the trigger happened or the next day, or you can reach out to me and I can facilitate this process for you. But when you become the creator of your own experience, first you ask yourself, what do I want to experience? How do I want to feel? And what do I want to tell myself that would validate that feeling or that will create that feeling? Now, in the same situation, you can tell yourself, like, my coworker, or, I would like to have a harmonious relationship with them. I would like to feel at peace when they just pass by me. I don't want to jump in my chair when they pass by me. The story I can tell myself is maybe the person was just having a hard day. They're a very loving and kind person who's just going through a rough day today. That's why they raise their voice at me. Or whatever version of the story you want to tell yourself. The trick here is our perception. Whatever we are holding within us, that is what we are projecting on the other person. When we take hold of, oh, this is what I'm holding within me. This is the story I'm holding within me. And I shift that story, my perception changes. Every situation that we come across, every human that we come across, they are a figment of our imagination. They are our own projection. They are our own perception. And I have personally played with that. And when I really started to see those shifts in my reality and in the way I thought how this person was, and then they became somebody else and something else, just because how I started to perceive them. Once I had that experience, I was convinced when someone is going to come and yell at me, I'm creating that experience because of my own perception. Or if I'm getting hurt because of my own perception, not because what the person said to me. Because I can tell myself a story that, maybe they're just going through a very difficult time and maybe they just got laid off and maybe they're feeling out of control. Maybe they don't know what to do with their life. And I'm the first person that they saw after that incident. So there's so many ways you can hold on to what goes on here. But the first thing that you'll pay attention to is perception. When the trigger is happening, there's a pop-up on my screen and that made me startle. When something is happening in your life and it's coming to the surface for you to acknowledge it, and you're sitting with it, and you can find that story within you that you've been holding on to for such a long time that is creating so much toxicity within you. That is why a trigger happens. Your body's helping you, your unconscious mind is helping you. Hey, let this go. And you flip that story and you take control of how you're going to feel. That is what going to resolve the trigger forever. Forever, my friend. Bring me the biggest trigger that you have, and I can show you how it can be resolved. The biggest trigger that takes all the power away from you, because whenever there's a trigger is always outside of you. It takes all your power away because now who's controlling you? The trigger is controlling you. And if someone else is controlling you, how you're going to be a free human? We, most of us, we live in free countries. We'll say we are free people, but we are not really free because we are imprisoned with the stories that we tell ourselves that limit us, that creates divide, that creates separation, that creates you're good, I'm bad, you're good, or I'm good, you're bad, whatever combination of it that we create, it all comes from the story we tell and how we perceive other people or other situations. So, how you're going to resolve your trigger? First of all, right away, go into 10 deep breaths, pause, breathe, box breathing. Second, transform the energy that is within you, and you can use it on like family gatherings. If you feel like you're getting so triggered, just go outside, go to the bathroom, just take out the energy, transform it, put it back. At least you'll be able to get through the evening. When you come home, then you do the deeper work, and that is what triggered me, what feeling I have, what story I'm telling, and how it's impacting my life in a negative way. And then the next one would be, what do I want to experience? Next time when I meet that person, do I want to experience a pleasant moment? How do I want to feel? What is the story I'm going to tell myself that is going to create that reality for me? Now, my friend, this is all for today. And I'm trusting this process is going to really help you get to that happy, infinite part of you so you can share your light with the world, because every trigger is a piece of dark cloth that is masking your light. The more trigger you work through, the more free you become, the more this world is going to benefit by your presence. That is all for today. If you're ready to do this deeper work, you can always reach out to me. You can send me a DM if we are connected on social media. You can go to my website, aliajmalcoaching.com, and you can book a consultation. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.